Emotional hunger is the deep psychological craving for comfort, affection, attention, validation, connection, reassurance, or a sense of being emotionally fulfilled. Unlike physical hunger, which signals a biological need for nourishment, emotional hunger often develops when psychological needs remain unmet. A person may feel an intense desire to be loved, noticed, understood, accepted, or reassured, yet struggle to identify exactly what is missing. This can create a persistent sense of inner emptiness that external experiences temporarily relieve, but rarely resolve completely. Emotional hunger may become visible through excessive attachment, constant need for reassurance, compulsive social interaction, overworking, shopping, entertainment, romantic pursuit, or even overeating. The behavior can differ, but the underlying psychological pattern may be similar. The person is attempting to fill an internal absence through something outside themselves. Attention may create temporary validation. Affection may create temporary security. Achievement may create temporary worth. Consumption may create temporary comfort. But once the emotional effect fades, the underlying need returns, sometimes stronger than before. This creates a cycle of craving, temporary satisfaction, emotional decline, and renewed craving. Emotional hunger often becomes particularly intense when someone has learned to suppress their needs. A person who was repeatedly taught that their feelings were inconvenient may grow accustomed to ignoring emotional discomfort until it becomes overwhelming. Instead of recognizing the need directly, they experience an urgent desire for something that promises immediate relief. The deeper psychology of emotional hunger involves unmet attachment needs and the difficulty of providing oneself with emotional security. Human beings naturally require connection, recognition, affection, belonging, and meaningful interaction. Emotional hunger is not evidence of weakness simply because a person needs others. The problem develops when external validation becomes the only reliable source of internal stability. A person may begin believing that they are valuable only when someone wants them, successful only when others admire them, or safe only when someone provides constant reassurance. This creates emotional dependency because the individual has never developed enough internal security to tolerate periods of loneliness, uncertainty, or rejection. Emotional hunger can also make people vulnerable to unhealthy relationships because intense attention may be mistaken for genuine compatibility. The person is so hungry for connection that receiving attention feels like proof of love, even when the relationship lacks safety or reciprocity. Healing requires identifying the need beneath the craving. Sometimes the person does not need more attention, but deeper connection. Sometimes they do not need another achievement, but permission to rest. Sometimes they do not need constant reassurance, but stronger self-trust. The goal is not to eliminate emotional needs, because emotional needs are part of being human. It is to understand them well enough that they no longer control every decision. Healthy relationships can nourish emotional life, but they cannot permanently repair every internal wound. Emotional fulfillment develops through a combination of meaningful connection, self-respect, boundaries, purpose, rest, and the ability to recognize one's own emotional state honestly. The deepest transformation occurs when a person stops treating every uncomfortable feeling as an emergency that must immediately be filled. Emptiness can be explored instead of escaped. Loneliness can become an invitation to reconnect rather than proof of unworthiness. The need for affection can be acknowledged without surrendering independence. Emotional hunger begins to soften when the person learns that fulfillment is not simply something another person gives them. It is something gradually built through the way they relate to themselves, others, and the life they are creating.